So in this video, I'm talking exactly about how to be productive, productivity in my honest opinion, because I got asked by a subscriber how to be productive, and I'm going to tell you honestly probably the exact opposite of what most productivity videos or speeches tell you. Productivity has almost nothing to do with adding more things to your life. It's just about removing what gets in the way of what you are trying to do, what you are trying to be productive at. So it's not about adding more things to your life that you think are productive habits that might make you more productive. But before I even get into that, there are two things that I think you need to hear first before anything else, because I think without these two things, almost nothing else matters. But if you do want to skip this part and just go straight to my honest opinion on how to be productive, my total thought on it, and just other things that you can do to ensure that you're always productive every day, then you can just skip this whole entire part. But I do think this is still just very important. The first thing before anything else is making an oath to yourself. Just being able to sit down, not just have a random thought in the back of your head that you were serious or that you were committing to becoming someone that can reach their fullest potential, someone that strives to be their best version. I think it's just about making an oath, making a promise to yourself when you want to be serious with something in your life, when you want to be very productive, when you feel very ambitious and you need to be so productive, when you want to hit a new record, when you want to hit a new goal. I think it's just so important to make an oath to yourself and just write down on a piece of paper before anything else, or at the end of this video, I am committing to this, I am fully committing to just being the person that can reach their fullest potential. I just think this is so important, because the second thing is you just have to care. You just have to be willing to care so much more than anyone else around you. Care so much that it drives you so hard every single day to be so disciplined and to really hold that oath to yourself. Because if you only care 25% about being more productive or having a more productive life, and the other 75% just doesn't care, you can't be half in and half out. You just have to make that oath to yourself and just care so much, because you just can't be half in or half out. You have to be 100% in or just not in, because the other 75% will always win. So just caring and just writing an oath to yourself, I think, are just so important when just trying to commit to anything, whether it's adding a new habit to your life, whether it's trying to be more productive. I just think it's like a necessary thing. And what makes you care so much is your why. Because I heard this once from someone: purpose kills all distraction. Purpose kills everything that tries to distract you. And I'm not saying you need to find your purpose or that you know your purpose yet, but you're just why. Why are you trying to be productive? Why are you persisting so hard? Why do you keep going? I think it's just so important to have a reminder of why you do this. Just that keeps you so grounded, something that's so heavy that just sits on your shoulders, because you don't need to ever fight the urge of wasting time. You just do exactly what you need to do, because the weight of that why, the weight of that responsibility is just so heavy. And I'm not saying try to find your purpose or that you need a purpose to keep you going. I'm just saying find a why. What's your why? Why do you keep going? Why are you trying to commit to this? It's just so different for everyone, but anyone can just find that reason for why they just keep going. So I just think that's so important. Okay, so now we can actually talk about how to be productive, and what I'm about to say just pretty much goes against every productivity video there is out there. Just remove things. So after I scripted out this whole entire video, I went and read The 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss again. And Tim Ferriss opens his elimination chapter with a great Bruce Lee quote. And the quote was, "One does not accumulate but eliminate. It isn't daily increase, but it is daily decrease. The height of cultivation always runs to simplicity." The whole chapter is just basically about removing what's getting in the way. I just thought that was such a great quote, because that's the whole point. Because everyone has the most important things that they need to get done. If you're an entrepreneur, a builder, anyone running something, maybe even a student, you know everything you need to do tomorrow. But you also know exactly the most important things you need to do tomorrow. The work that actually moves your business, the work that actually moves the needle. And the rest is just noise. But what most people do is they just don't focus on those most important key things to do. They get efficient at random stuff. They fill up their day with more tasks that feel productive. that feels like it's going to increase and make them more productive at what they're doing or what they're building or what they're trying to complete in front of them. And the more you add, the more noise that gets between you and what actually needs to get done. There's a big difference between being effective and being efficient. Being effective means doing the things that get you closer to your goals. Being efficient just means doing something whether it matters or not. So you can be very efficient at things that just don't matter at all. Just constantly checking off new things that just don't matter. And that's not productivity. That's just really fast mediocrity. And here are also two very important rules that I got out of that specific chapter. One, doing something unimportant well does not make it important. Two, and this one is super important, requiring a lot of time to do something doesn't make that task important. And I think that one's just so important because we always judge tasks, whether they're important or not, based off how much time it's going to take. But really, if you just focused on the most important things to do every day, you'd probably only need to do 2 to 4 things at most. And that's it. And that's what really drives that cultivation that Bruce Lee was talking about. You don't add more things to get better. You don't add more things to speed something up. You just double down on the most important things that you know that needs to get done, and you just systemize it and you just do it every single day. And that's cultivation. The rest is just noise that is dressed up as productivity. So before you add a new journal, before you add a new app, before you add a stand-up desk and 3 new systems to try to make you more productive at what you need to get done, just ask yourself one very important question. What do I actually need to get this work done? Whatever it might be. Just ask yourself, what do I actually need to get this task done? Just ask yourself that one simple question. That just removes so much noise, and you can just focus so hard and be so precise like a needle on what needs to get done. Remove everything else, because 80% of our results usually comes from only 20% of our inputs. Number 4, and I think this one is super important, plan your day out the night before. Not a massive list of 20 different things to do. Just write down most important things that you need to do tomorrow. And just put, these are the most important things I need to get done tomorrow. I can't go to sleep until these are done. And then if you have tons of other things that are just weighing you down in your mind, like all other tasks, all the things that you need to do that you might have just not finished from today, or just stuff that you think you need to get done, just write it on a separate page. Because you don't want to be thinking about any of those things that you need to get done. You just want to look at your papers, see the most important things you need to get done, and just execute those. Just get those done. And once you get the most important things done in your day, then you can go focus on the other things that you put down. So just plan the night before. But here's something that's very important to do as well when you're planning your nights out. Also write down exactly what you're not going to do tomorrow. So maybe it's, don't scroll on my phone for the first hour of my day. Don't press snooze on my alarm clock. Don't mess around in the morning. Because now it's not just a vague intention, it's an actual commitment. And you made a promise to yourself, just like you did on writing the things you need to get done tomorrow. So now they matter equally. And when you go to sleep that night and you see that you didn't check off some of those boxes on what I don't need to do, that is going to drive you more than anything else. It's just seeing those boxes not being checked off. And the reason why this is just so important is because you wake up with a clear mind. You already know exactly what you're doing. You're not scattered. You're not trying to now figure out, what do I need to do today? Which is just going to cause so much unnecessary thinking in your morning. You just know exactly what you need to get done. You know exactly what you need to do. And you also know exactly what not to do tomorrow. That's why I think that is just so important. Here's something that's super important that most people just don't talk about, and that's just self-awareness. You can have every system in place to make sure you're doing good. You can have every plan, you can have every habit in the world, but if you don't have self-awareness to catch yourself when you're drifting, when you're not doing the right thing, then you'll always create just such new bad habits, and you'll never be able to catch yourself doing the wrong thing and be able to remove it before it ever becomes a habit. It's just going to be your self-awareness that reminds you, like, I shouldn't be doing this. This is the wrong thing. Because self-awareness is the only thing that can make you notice, like right now in this very moment, that right now I am doing something that I know I shouldn't be doing. And then you just stop, because it's not because you have iron willpower. Your mind caught it before it became a really bad habit that could destroy so much stuff. And you build self-awareness just through journaling, meditating, sitting by yourself, 10 minutes with your thoughts, no noise, and just removing noise from your life. So when you're sitting in the car, don't play music, When you're going on a walk, don't play music. Just try to constantly always watch your thoughts when you get the chance. And you just become very self-aware. You notice when you're doing the wrong things because you're just always in control of your mind. And this is the last thing, but I think this is super important that also no one really talks about, is doing a weekly recap every Sunday. Every Sunday, just do a weekly recap. How did my week go? Was it good? Was it bad? Did I perform well? So just sit down and honestly look at your week. What did you do well? What did I avoid? What did I do good? What did I do bad? What didn't I accomplish? Where did I fall short? Was it just overall a good week? Was it overall a bad one? And why? So why did I fall short, or why did I avoid this? Because time just flies by so fast. Days will turn to weeks, weeks will turn to months, months will turn to a year, and it just goes so much faster than you'd think, especially if you are always trying to be productive. Because if you're not tracking your weeks, you'll blink and it's just been 6 months. And you actually have no clue whether your weeks have been constantly increasing, constantly, if you're getting better and better and better. So just try to start tracking your weeks as soon as possible. If you look back in 6 months and see that your weeks are constantly doing better, that's all you need to see. That's all you need to see. You could just rate the week with like a score. You could just write, I did better this week than the last one. But most importantly, doing a weekly recap every Sunday, you start to see patterns. You start to see exactly where you're slipping. You start to see exactly where you're not doing good. And the great thing about tracking your weeks is that last week will always set the bare minimum for how this week should be. So no matter what, this week should always just go so much better than last week, because you know you're not going to do worse this week. Last week set the bare minimum. And you always just have a headspace of just the patterns that you need to see. If you have this same subject to task and you keep not completing it, you see a pattern and then you figure out what's causing me not to get this done. So you're constantly problem solving, but you're constantly just growing. You're constantly aware of where you're at and where you know you'll be at. So that one is super important in my opinion. It just leads to so much clarity. It's nice being able to, in my opinion, look back at your weeks and just see how well you did and just know you're going to perform way better this week. Look, I'm not going to give you 50 random hacks on how to be productive or that might make you productive. But the most important thing I can leave you with that would sum up my whole entire message is just figure out what's standing in between you and the productive version of your life. Write it down and remove it. Remove the things that are getting in the way and just make it so frictionless to do the right thing that you almost just can't help but do the right thing every time. You don't need more information on how to be productive. You just have tons of things getting in the way. So remove them. Go try to remove something today. But as always, that is the end of this video, and that is my best advice and overall message on how to be productive and things that can just help you so much. I hope this video genuinely helped as always, and if it did, feel free to comment, like, subscribe if you want to keep following the journey. And I have 3 very important videos coming after this one. So I hope this video helped, and I'll see you next video.